Alright, so y'all are going to be jumping into Greek mythology next week. So to give you a little precursor to that whole lesson, we're going to be going over some famous Greek monsters today. Now, when it comes to Greek mythology and all the Greek myths, the one character you should know is the mother of all monsters. So let's go ahead and, oh hello, give her head and shoulders. She'll cross her arms like this. We'll just make her with crossed arms. Toga dress. So she looked very normal on top. Her name is Echidna. Echidna, mother of all monsters. Looked very normal on top. That was until you got to her other end. She kind of had the nasty habit of having a lower end of a snake for her other part of her body. Okay, camera, you and me are gonna fight. And the rest of her body also is covered in spikes. You may have heard of an animal called an echidna. Echidna simply means spiky or spiny. So Echidna, mother of all monsters. If you ever need to pause, if I'm going too fast for you, just pause it and catch up. Alright, so Echidna, mother of all monsters. We're going to draw some of her offspring that she had. One of her daughters is very famous in Greek mythology. We'll just draw her head. A bunch of snake-like lines coming out of her head. Her headband. 2 eyes. And she had fangs. She is the mother of the Gorgons, which were hideous women-like monsters, but they had snakes for hair, and whoever they looked at, they turned their victims into stone. So go ahead and each of these, let's turn them into snakes. And the most famous of the Gorgons, of course, was Medusa, who was Echidna's granddaughter. Medusa, who was conquered by Perseus, the Greek hero Perseus, by tricking her into looking at her own reflection. I'll give her some snake eyes too. Alright, there was also Cerberus, which some of y'all may already go, ooh, I know that one. We'll start off looking with a paw print kind of thing. Because Cerberus, or the Hound of Hades, was a 3-headed dog who's in charge of making sure no one got out of Hades. Hades is where all mortals went to in the afterlife, a lot of them. Doing some leap, crook leg, back heel, doing some noses and teeth. So Cerberus would eat anyone who tried to come back out of Hades. And there are a few heroes in Greek mythology who ran into Cerberus, including another hero named Heracles. Not Hercules, Heracles. And I'll probably talk about that a little bit in Greek mythology. Also, alright, we also had the Sphinx, who like to gobble up men as well. Alright, Sphinx, very weird word. I got marbles on my mouth today. Alright, she looked like a lovely lady for her head. But alright, so lady, and we're going to have two lines coming down and one line going out. We're going to turn this line into a wing because the Sphinx had the head of a beautiful woman but the body of a winged lion. And she was another one of Echidna's children. It's really hard to draw small with the thing, so she's going to be kind of derp. You could only get past the Sphinx if you answered her riddle. Alright, this next one you might have heard of a little bit, but there is a terrible, terrible monster. It's called the Chimera. The Chimera is a mixture of all sorts of animals, including go ahead, give a snout. And a mane. For a lion. But also, another head. A snout. And two goat horns, because this animal had the head of a lion, the head of a goat, the body of a lion usually covered in scales like a fish, and the tail of a snake with the snake's head at the end of it. Another one of her children. Alright, so that's an example of some of the monsters you may meet in your Greek mythology. Go ahead, draw them. take a picture of them and submit them on Google Classroom. And we'll be talking a little bit more about Greek mythology as we move through with art and ELA. We'll talk to y'all later.